and welcome back to another week of a Drag Race Down Under exit interview. They are starting to cull the numbers now, episode 5, and we have lost a drag darling, an unexpected loss after a recent win. We have the incredibly fucking talented Brenda Bressed. Hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you for that intro.
Oh, Brenda, you impressed. You impressed many times. It was a
Oh,
a good run.
it was, wasn't it? It was a really good run, and it was cut short. How dare they?
Somebody just came along just in the back of the knees.
I know. It came out of nowhere. I felt so betrayed.
Yeah, it was look, it was an interesting episode, and it always is with the makeover challenge, isn't it? Because that criteria, I suppose, always seems to be different for everyone. What were your thoughts on when you were tackling that and how you were going to do both uh, the family resemblance, but also drive the narrative?
Yeah. Look, it's always an interesting challenge, the makeover. You never really know which way it's going to go. Sometimes you watch, like after watching the show for so many years, sometimes you go, okay, they want family resemblance, but they don't want twins because they've just said, we didn't ask for you to be identical. Then sometimes you watch it and they say, oh, you look identical. We love it. It's beautiful. Or sometimes they'll look nothing alike and they'll say, oh, we loved you. Like, you look so alike. And it's like, what's going on? So I really had no idea. I had no idea going into the challenge. I had no idea why we were doing it. We were all just looking around going, what's happening? What's happening here?
It was a bit like that as a viewer as well, because everyone was good, and I keep kind of saying this about every episode, but this season sucks because it's so good.
Right? I know it's what makes it so hard doing the competition because some of us went into it thinking, oh, I'm going to blitz this. It's going to be a clean sweep. But then we slowly realized when we were there, we were like, oh, this is hard because everyone is so good. It's not fair.
Yeah,
It's
like
rigged.
people like to say sometimes, we got the filler queens here or filler queens there, but you didn't have a filler queen.
We honestly didn't. We really didn't. Yeah, that's what made it so tricky this time.
Yeah, and again, the trickiness of the judging for this one as well is I think that everybody, you talk about all that different criteria, everybody nailed that criteria that would have won it for them in any other random season. So did you come out
Yeah,
feeling proud of what
exactly.
you'd done with yours?
Oh, absolutely. I was really proud of what I did, and I honestly loved what I brought to that challenge, and I loved the story we were able to bring. Like, it was stupid, but it was fun, and that's my drag. It's stupid, it's ridiculous. I don't take myself seriously at all. And I just have fun, and I had a great time doing the challenge. I had a great time with Hannah. We honestly just laughed the whole time, and I'm really glad that as sad as it was going home, I was glad that I went home on a challenge that I still had fun doing, If it had been the week before that I'd gone home, I think it would have been a whole other story. I would have been really upset, and I think it would have ruined the whole experience of Drag Race for me. But ending and going home on a challenge where I really had fun, I think made it all okay. And I was happy, not happy to go, but I was content with what I brought and what I was able to show.
Yeah, so you're still serving your best. Like, great, cool. All right, send me home on that. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And speaking of serving your best, the lip sync was interesting, and it raises discussion for me that I was thinking about in terms of the different drag that we get. And you look at that lip sync, and it was two completely different styles. And it is really, I suppose, Max is really representative of the generation that grew up on Drag Race. Max is a Drag Race queen. She's fantastic. She can lip and sync and stunt and flip and turn and all of those things. But you served Aussie drag. You served a completely different style. It was taking the piss. It was having a camp old fun time. How did you feel about what you served when you did that lip sync and what Max was serving?
Yeah. Look, from the moment we walked into the workroom and I saw Max was there, I thought, okay, she's the one bitch that I don't want to be in the bottom with because that's going to be hard. Because I know what she's capable of. And so going into the lip sync, finding myself up against Max, I thought there's no way that I'm going to be able to outdo Max if I'm trying to do what she does. And I think that's the like what you said, it's the beautiful thing about drag is that everyone is doing it in their own way. And I was like, if I'm going to do well in this lip sync, if I have any chance, I need to do it in my way, and I need to do it and serve something completely different to Max, so that they're not comparing us directly, being like, oh well, Max did a split and Brenda tried to do a split. I needed to make it hard for the judges to try and pick between two completely different styles of drag. And I just wanted to have fun with it as well. And I said to Max before we did the lip sync, I said, let's just give them a good show. Let's just have fun. And we finished it. And I got that euphoric feeling that I do often when I have done a really good performance. And I just thought, that was fun. I had a really good time, and I I left everything on the stage. And I thought, if I go home now, I can leave with my head held high because I gave everything that I could.
Absolutely. It was iconic and I loved watching it and I hated seeing the result. But I would have hated seeing Max go home as well. So it was one of those hard
No.
things to do.
I know it was that thing where it's like you've got some favorites in the bottom and you don't want either of them to leave, and it's that point in the competition where the upsets are happening, you know?
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to another really high point for you. Fucking congratulations. You won the Snatch Game.
Thank you.
Ah, I've been saying for years on so much Drag Race, I'm like, Kath and Kim, absolutely fabulous. These are the things we should be seeing, and now we're like getting it. That was some good Prud and Trude.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Did you?
Uh,
Is that like just your bread and butter? Like I felt like you weren't somebody that even had to go in and rehearse that. You were the type of person who went, I've seen this show 476 times, and give me what you got. I've got it.
I exactly. I know Kath and Kim back to front, upside down. Like I've watched it countless times, so I know it so so well. And I knew that doing a character from Kath and Kim, I could make anything that they threw at me. I could make it work. I could make a joke out of it because I know any reference from the show that they could throw at me. So I've done the character quite a few times before. Me and my drag sister Delicatessen, we do a we do, we do a Kath and Kim event called Kath and Kim Huge Party, and we start the night off doing Kath and Kim trivia, and then we come out later as Prue and True, and we do bingo. So it is a character that I'd done before, and I'm used to bantering and like doing that character on the fly. So I was super comfortable going into it because I thought, absolutely, for Snatch Game, I've got to do someone from Kath and Kim. And I thought, I don't want to do the obvious choice because when you say Gina Riley, people are immediately going to think, oh, you're going to do Kim. And I was like, I don't want to be the obvious choice. I want to do something that everyone knows because it is so iconically and quintessentially Australian. And it's something that no other country really has a character like that. And so you can't really go wrong. It's sort of a secret. You can't really go wrong with it. So I just had a ball.
Yeah, it was a very, very wise choice. But there was that difference between you and Mandy, who also fucking slayed as well. But there's a differentiation where Mandy rested in the character. She knew the characterizations and everything that kind of built that. But your repertoire of the lines that you knew and your ability to kind of reference into them directly. Like I was watching, I was like, that's a line from the show. That's it. Boom, boom. Like I know it as well as you do. And that was really the next level insight that you had there, and it was slay.
Thank you. Well, look, one thing lazy Susan said to me, she was like, she's seen Kath and Kim, but she hasn't seen it as many times as I have. But she said the thing she was impressed by was the fact that I was able to reference the show directly, but make it work so well with the questions that she wasn't able to pick that it was just a line from the show because it worked so well with the questions. So I was like, look, she's good. She's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Absolutely, and you bang on the money there. And as Reese said, like I think we broke the curse. You helped save Snatch Game.
Exactly. Oh, finally, we've broken the curse of Snatch Game on Down Under. It's been a journey, and we've got there. We've got there.
Yes, although we did almost break the fucking reading challenge again with some of them.
Oh no! Oh no!
we were saved by the likes of Vibe, who fucking nailed that reading challenge, might
Yeah.
I say. Um, Mandy only got one in her edit. Were the rest of hers that bad that we just didn't get to see them?
Oh, Mandy had my favorite read of all time, which I'm sure didn't make the edit. Um, so I don't know if I think I'm allowed to talk about it. Doesn't matter. There was a conspiracy while we were away that because obviously we're not allowed to have our phones with us while we're away. There was a conspiracy that Nikita had a phone with her. Um, I know because there'd be times where she'd take things back to the hotel at night to work on, and she'd come back and they'd be a little different, and we were all like, "What's going on there?" And she had a little slip up on the main stage where she was like, "Oh yeah, so I was talking to my boyfriend last night. I mean, I was pretending to talk to him in the shower, and we were like, Nikita, what's going on?" So there was a bit of a conspiracy there. But my favorite read that I'm sure Mandy's didn't make was, oh, what was it? It was, um, oh, she said, Nikita Iman, you remind me of E.T. because of those long, spindly fingers and the ability to phone home. It was so great. So I'm sure that didn't make it, but that was my favorite read of the whole day, and that was from Mandy.
No, that one did not, Mandy. We only got Mandy's attempt at reading Freya, which, as she said on paper, it was good. It just didn't quite land. The Freya, the model, and the face of George or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
The was it you who did the read on Mandy and the Brisbane River? Or was that
No.
fine? Oh, that was one of my favorites. Mandy
See,
moved.
I can't even remember them.
Yes, Mandy moves. You're the reason the Brisbane River runs brown.
Oh yeah. Did my read make it in about lazy growing up in the mountains?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, I made a joke about lazy growing up in the mountains and how she was high as a kite as a child. I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was funny, but I'm sure they didn't keep it in. They had to set up my storyline to go home from the start of the episode, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. We couldn't see you succeed too well.
No, no.
Um, this was a lot. Some really, really big highs for you. Did you have a low point in the competition where you felt like you'd just done fucked it up? Or were you feeling good the whole time?
I definitely feel like I fucked it up at the design challenge, you know. I think the thing that made me feel worse about it was we'd been sewing for so long the night before. We'd already been filming the show for like a week and a half, so we were already exhausted. Then you go and add on that long night of sewing. I was exhausted. I was missing my family. I was missing my husband. And then to get bad critiques as well. It all just came crashing down. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I can't take too much more of this. So I think that was a low point, and I think if I'd gone home that episode, or even just been in the bottom, I think it would have ruined kind of my whole memory of the show and the whole experience in itself. Um, so I'm glad that things happened the way it did because I had such a fun time this challenge, and I still left the competition with a good taste in my mouth about the whole experience.
Beautiful. And next week, acting challenge. I feel like this is a missed opportunity sending you home before the acting challenge. Do you think that was be another area you were going to be on the up and up?
I was waiting for that goddamn acting challenge, and of course, it happened the week after I left. I I'm not gonna lie, I would have aced that, and it's a robbery, it's a crime. Justice for Brenda.
Could have had two badges and said they sent you home with one.
I I know. I know.
Well,
But that's the way it happens, you know. You can't change it. But as I said, I've left people wanting more, and I think I'm on a trajectory for All Stars. So World of Wonder, I'm waiting by the phone.
you never know. We've got 4 seasons in our belt, and España and France are getting all stars, and they've only done 3 seasons each. So,
Imagine that, a Down Under All Stars. That would be heaven.
oh my God, yes, yes, we'll start the campaign.
Hey.
Now, Michelle Visage, she rocked up at the beginning of the season when you were expecting to see RuPaul. How was the shock of that for you?
Oh, I was honestly really excited when we found out that Michelle was hosting. I think she was exactly what the show needed. I think she understands Down Under drag a little bit more than Ms. RuPaul. And I think Michelle just brought the freshness that we really needed to Down Under. I love Down Under is fantastic, but because RuPaul didn't get some of what Down Under is, I think that influenced a lot of other people's perspective of the franchise as well. Um, and so I think having Michelle there is really helping show other people that Down Under's got something to offer, you know. We're just as good as any other franchise. And she honestly was a dream. She was an absolute dream. She was so beautiful and so lovely and encouraging to all of us. And she really did feel like the mother figure for us all there. So we're very, very proud to be the very first cast of Mitch's Bitches. And we're no longer Rue Girls. We are Mitch's Bitches.
The very first.
Exactly. It's iconic.
It is Down Under Icons as Mitch's Bitches. Did you get to spend much time with her off camera? We know like RuPaul is very busy and quite often people you don't see him except for on the main stage and when they visit the workroom. Did you get to have any time with Michelle?
Not a whole heap of time. The only times that we sort of got to do anything was just in between takes with Michelle while she was in the workroom. But when in between takes, she was so lovely to us, and we were just chatting with her, and she was really just down to earth. I got to chat to her heaps because she'd just come off her run doing the Addams Family in the UK. She'd just come off doing that. And so she'd come and I was chatting to her all about that. We were chatting about theatre. She was just so down to earth and lovely. So we got to spend a little bit of time with her, not as much as I would have liked, but every time that we got to chat to her, she was beautiful.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Um, so what is next for Brenda Bressed now that we don't have any more RuPaul to watch you on or Drag Race Down Under to watch you on? Where shall we see you next? What are you doing?
Oh, well, I've got lots of stuff in the works. I'm doing a few Christmas shows coming up shortly at Murmur Piano Bar in the city. I've got some exciting things coming up next year with some theatre opportunities. I've got some music coming out as well. I know Drag Race Queen bringing out music after being on the show, unheard of. But I've got some music coming out. I'm also going to focus heavily on my YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't checked it out already, please check it out. Brenda Breast TV on YouTube. So I'm gonna really hit the ground running with that. But yeah, lots in the works, lots in the works. So stay tuned because this may be the end of the drag race journey, but this is just the start of everything else. You can't get me off a stage, that's all I'll say.
Fantastic. Well, people make sure they go and follow you on the socials down there, and they can come and find out more about you and see you and where you are and what you're up to. I had another question then I was going to say, and I just completely fucking forgot it, didn't I? Oh yes, I was going to mention the tour. You're getting to go on tour.
Yes, that's right. We're being a Drag Race Down at a season 4 tour in March. It's from the 26th to the 30th. So it's going to be absolutely fabulous. We've actually got some exciting things in the work for the tour. We're trying to bring a little something different to a drag race tour that you might not have seen before. So stay tuned because it's going to be really good. We're breaking the mold in every sense of the word with Down Under season 4. Um, so you haven't seen anything like us yet.
Can't wait. Now, speaking of breaking the mold and down into season 4, your marketing has been fucking next level, which I believe is a little bit to do with Ms. Sue. Um,
Look, it did help us having a marketing expert on the cast. Um,
just a touch, you reckon?
it did help.
But one of my favorite things was the Bob the Drag Queen campaign.
Uh,
Please, Bob, please. We've heard Bob said he's going to watch it. Have we had a follow up on Bob watching the show?
we haven't, I don't think we've heard anything since Bob said they were going to watch it. I can't confirm whether they've seen it yet or not, but we're waiting for the review. We're waiting. We're waiting. So we've got everything crossed, fingers and toes. Please, Bob, if you're watching this right now, please watch it. Please tell us what you think.
Well, Bob did promise that Bob would get back to us. Unfortunately, America is on fire at the moment, so I think they're just
And yeah, they're a bit preoccupied, so we'll let him off the hook for now.
yes. When he comes out of the bunker, he'll have a chance. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week. My guest has been Brenda Bressed. It has been a pleasure to have you, darling.
Thank you so much for having me, doll.
And next week, I shall be back joining you with our next eliminated queen as we get down to the nitty gritty. There's only
Ooh.
six left who will make it to the grand final just before Christmas. We wait and see. Until then, I'm Michael James. Have a great day.